Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to explain a topic in mathematics called interchanging number forms. Before we start, I want to ask you guys this question. Have you ever seen number written in different forms like a fraction, decimals, or percentage? Now, let me give you a simple example from daily life. Imagine you have a cake and then you cut it into two equal parts. If you take one part, you can say it as 1/2 or 1/2, but actually, that can also be written as 0.5 or even 50%. So, from one situation, we can represent it in different number forms. Even though they look different, the value is actually the same. That's why in mathematics, it's important for us to understand how to change one form of number into another. And this is what we call interchanging number forms. In this lesson, we will learn three main things. For the first one is how to convert fraction and decimals into a percentage. And then the second one is how to convert percentage into a fraction. And then the last one is how to convert percentage into a decimals. Now, sometimes not all fractions can be easily changed into a denominator of 100. So we cannot directly write them as a percentage. Because of that, we need a method to convert them. So now, let's start with the first topic, which is converting fraction and decimals into a percentage. To convert fraction and decimal into a percentage form, we multiply the fraction or decimals by 100%. Why do we multiply by 100%? Because 100% is equals to 100 over 100 and also equals to 1. And we know that multiplying any number by 1 does not change its value. So when we multiply a number by 100%, we are only change the form, but the value stays the same. So please remember this important idea that 100% is equal to 1. Now, let's continue with some examples so you can understand it more clearly. The question is convert the following numbers into a percentage by multiplying by 100%. For example, 3 over 4. First, we multiply the fraction by 100%. So we got 3 over 4 multiplied by 100%. Next, we multiply the numerator. This becomes 300 over 4%. And then we divided 300 by 4. And then we got the result is 75%. So we can say that 3 over 4 is equals to 75%. Then the next example is decimal number is 0.064. To convert a decimal into a percentage, we also multiply by 100%. So we got 0.064 multiplied by 100%, and then we got the result is 6.4%. So we can say that 0.064 is equals to 6.4%. Now, I will show you guys some exercise if you want to try. The question is try to convert these numbers into a percentage. You can try to solve them later, okay? Okay, now we move to the second topic, which is converting percentage into a fraction. To do this, we just write the percentage as a fraction with a denominator of 100. Then we simplify it into the lowest terms. Now, let's continue with some examples so you can understand it more clearly. Okay, so the question is express the following numbers, the following percentage as a common fraction in lowest terms. For examples, 30%. We can write it as a fraction with denominator of 100. So we got 30%, it's equals to 30 over 100. Next, we simplify the fraction. The highest common factor of 30 and 100 is 10. So we divided both number by 10. And then we got 30 divided by 10 over 100 divided by 10. And then we got the result is 3 over 10. So we can say that 30% is equals to 3 over 10. Okay, now we move to the last topics, which is converting percentage into decimals. To convert a percentage into a decimal, we divided the percentage by 100. Another way to understand this is by moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. So remember these rules. To divide it by 100, we move the decimal point 2 places to the left. Now, let's look at one example so you can understand it more clearly. For example, 31%, we write it as 30 over 100, and then we divided 31 by 100%, and then we got the result is 0.31. So we can say that 31% is equal to 0.31. All right, I think that's all for my explanation about interchanging number. So today we'll learn three main things. For the first one is how to convert fraction and decimal into percentage, and then the second one is how to convert percentage into a fraction, and then the last one is how to convert percentage into decimals. I think these are important because sometimes we need to change number forms depending on the problem. Now, do you guys have any question, suggestion, or feedback? If you do, you can write it down below, guys. Thank you, everyone, for your attention and your feedback. That's all for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.